Hi guys. So at this point I hope that you've turned in your homework, and since I'm gone I'm going to introduce the test like I normally would. I'll have the substitute hand them out. You are allowed to use a ruler, a scientific calculator, and your chemistry helper, and then pencils, pens, and colored pencils. First thing I do is put my name here. The next thing I would do is read all of your instructions, right? Regardless of whether I say it or not, I would read everything. All right, question 1 says measure the dimensions of the box shown below in centimeters and calculate the area to the correct number of significant figures and units. Guys, it says significant figures and units. Reminder, area is length times height. Now I've already done one for you. All you have to do is measure the height and calculate the area. Question 2, what are you able to drink or eat in the laboratory? Pick the best answer. 3, what does this piece of safety equipment do? The picture here. Flip it over. A food scientist wants to measure the masses of various volumes of virgin olive oil. Unfortunately, the scientist didn't organize the data very well, but here's the data that was collected. So you have like all these post-it notes. In the space below, could you build a data table that's going to help organize this data? Give me all the characteristics of a good data table. So, for example, the title, put the labels here for the columns, what units, and then arrange the values so they make sense. And then these gray boxes, can you calculate a characteristic of olive oil? For these calculations, apply correct significant figures, it says right there. The student graphed the information and then went and calculated slope to be 0.93. The question is, what does this slope actually represent? Question 6 asks you to identify how many significant figures are in this number and this number. Question 7 is, if you had to round this number to 3 significant figures, what would you respond? And if you had to round this number to 3 significant figures, what would you respond? Flip it over. Okay, this next section came directly from homework, and so I've done a math function here. I've actually given you the calculator answer. All you have to do is respond with the appropriate number of digits, include a unit. For the second one, I've given you the unit, but I haven't given you the calculator. Third one, I've done the math for you. You appropriate units. Fourth one, you got to do it all. Question 9. Here's a beaker. Can you label all of the other tick marks on this picture? All right. And then what is the smallest increment that this beaker can hold? And then show me the math for uncertainty. Question 12. I'm measuring volume of sand for a sculpture, and I put it in a beaker. Can you record the amount of sand that I used, including the uncertainty? Question 13, classify each one of these substances as either an element, a compound, or a mixture. So methane, which is CH4, sulfur, coffee, and copper. All right, flip it over. 14, can you create a particle diagram for the following substances? Each diagram needs to have at least 3 instances of each type of particle for an element, a compound, a heterogeneous mixture, and a homogeneous mixture. Question 15, classify these as either chemical or physical properties. All you have to do is circle one or the other for rusting, boiling at 68 degrees Celsius, density, or reacts with oxygen. Question 16, can you identify these as chemical or physical changes? When a banana rots, when you bake sugar, eggs, and flour into a cake, or perfume evaporating on your skin. Question 17, what are 2 of the 3 characteristics? I only need 2 out of the 3 that determine if a solute will be able to dissolve in a solvent. 18. A solution that contains the maximum amount of solute possible in a particular temperature is said to be blank. What is the vocabulary word? 19. When is it possible to dissolve more solute in the solvent? The solution is said to be vocabulary word. flip it over. This solubility table refers to these 4 questions. So 20, what is the saturation point for NH3, which is right here on the solubility table? 21, at 50 degrees Celsius, how many grams of potassium nitrate, or KNO3, will dissolve in 100 milliliters of water? And right there's the KNO3 line. Question 22, show how much potassium iodide, which is way up here, will dissolve in 50 milliliters of water at 15 degrees Celsius. Show me your work. And then finally, if you were to dissolve 120 grams of sodium nitrate, that's NaNO3, which is right here, in 100 milliliters of boiling water, and then you cool the water to 40 degrees, how many grams of sodium nitrate will actually pop out or crystallize? Show me your work. And then, a student wishes to determine the boiling point of a solid sample. She creates the following graph. It's right here. Question A, what is the boiling point for this substance? So give me a temperature. B, what is the phase of matter at point C? So right here. C, is energy being absorbed at point B? And can you explain why you think that or why you don't? What could we call what is occurring at point B? And do you think that this substance is water? Why do you think that? At that point, you're done with all the things that are required, but I've given you kind of an extra credit special opportunity. So I scanned a label of Coca-Cola. What information can we find here? And so I blew some parts of the label up, and I've given you the solubility of salt and sugar. Show me the math to answer this question. Is the sugar in Coca-Cola a supersaturated, saturated, or unsaturated solution when it is drunk at room temperature of 20 degrees C? If you find it to be unsaturated, how much more sugar could be dissolved in this bottle if the soda was at a room temperature of 20 degrees C? All right? Once again, guys, you're trying to communicate with me, so yeah, show me your math and make sure no naked numbers, you know me. All right? Good luck, ladies and gentlemen. And when you are done, you can run a study hall back in the laboratory. I wish you guys luck, and I'll see you on Monday. Rock on, guys.